In the heart of rural Pennsylvania, nestled between thick woods and the murmur of a winding creek, stood Willow Creek Lodge. Built in the late 1800s, the lodge was a picturesque retreat for wealthy families seeking solace from city life. Its grand façade, adorned with intricate woodwork and expansive porches, belied the darkness that lingered within its walls. For decades, the lodge was a haven of laughter and joy, hosting countless summer gatherings. But as time passed, whispers of a more sinister presence began to emerge. The original owner, Arthur Whitmore, was said to be a stern man, obsessed with his family's reputation. He ruled the lodge with an iron fist, creating an atmosphere of fear and tension that seeped into the very foundation of the building. Tragedy struck one fateful winter evening when Arthur's only daughter, Eliza, vanished without a trace. The family searched frantically, scouring the surrounding woods and the icy banks of the creek, but she was never found. Arthur, consumed by grief and rage, withdrew from society, and the lodge fell into disrepair. Locals claimed that Arthur's spirit, along with that of his lost daughter, haunted the halls, seeking what they could never reclaim. Years later, in the early 2000s, a couple named Rachel and David purchased Willow Creek Lodge, drawn to its rustic charm and the sprawling landscapes surrounding it. Ignoring the cautionary tales of the townsfolk, they envisioned restoring the lodge to its former glory, unaware of the chilling history that awaited them. From their first night, an unsettling feeling enveloped them. The air was thick with an inexplicable tension, and shadows seemed to dance at the edges of their vision. Rachel often heard soft, sorrowful melodies drifting through the halls, reminiscent of a lullaby, while David dismissed them as figments of their imagination. One evening, while exploring the attic, Rachel stumbled upon an old trunk hidden beneath a layer of dust. Inside were Eliza's belongings: a faded dress, a journal, and a delicate music box. As she opened the music box, a haunting melody filled the room, echoing the very lullaby she had heard at night. The moment the final note faded, a chilling draft swept through the attic, extinguishing the candlelight and plunging her into darkness. Shaken, Rachel rushed downstairs to find David. That night, she revealed her discovery, her voice trembling as she recounted the eerie occurrences. David, though skeptical, promised to support her as they delved deeper into the lodge's past. As they uncovered more about Eliza's tragic fate, strange happenings escalated. Doors would slam shut without warning, and cold spots appeared throughout the lodge. Rachel often dreamed of a girl in a white dress, wandering through the woods, her face a mixture of sadness and longing. The couple felt an unshakable pull to uncover the truth behind Eliza's disappearance. One stormy night, the couple decided to conduct their own seance in the parlor, hoping to communicate with the spirit that lingered in the lodge. They lit candles and formed a circle, the air crackling with energy. As they began to chant, a heavy silence enveloped them, broken only by the sound of a soft sobbing coming from the corner of the room. Suddenly, the candles flickered violently, and a figure appeared. A translucent girl in a flowing white dress, her eyes wide with sorrow. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Rachel's heart raced as she reached out, compelled to assist the spirit before her. In that moment, Eliza's story unfolded like a dark tapestry. She had been playing by the creek when a sudden flood swept her away. Arthur, in his desperation, had never accepted her fate, instead choosing to linger in the shadows of his grief, unable to let go. Determined to bring peace to both Eliza and Arthur, Rachel and David resolved to hold a memorial service at the lodge, inviting locals to share stories and memories of the Whitmore family. They hoped this would serve as a tribute to the love that once filled the halls, a chance for the spirits to find closure. On the day of the memorial, as townsfolk gathered and candles flickered in the evening breeze, Rachel felt a profound shift in the atmosphere. The weight that had hung over the lodge seemed to lift, replaced by an overwhelming sense of warmth and remembrance. As they shared stories of Eliza's vibrant spirit and Arthur's dedication to his family, Rachel noticed a faint glow emanating from the attic window. Later that night, as the last guest departed, Rachel and David climbed to the attic to investigate. The music box lay open, its melody echoing softly through the stillness. As they approached, a gentle breeze swept through the room, carrying with it the faint scent of lilacs, Eliza's favorite flower. In that moment, they understood that the lodge was no longer a place of sorrow but a sanctuary of memories. The shadows that had haunted them now danced joyfully in the moonlight, a testament to the love that had once flourished within those walls. Though Willow Creek Lodge still stands, its reputation transformed. Those who visit often report a serene presence, a feeling of peace that envelopes them as they explore its halls. If you listen closely on quiet nights, you might still hear the faint strains of a lullaby, a reminder of a family's enduring love and the spirits that linger, no longer lost but embraced in their eternal home. As the days turned into weeks, Rachel and David settled into a newfound routine at Willow Creek Lodge, their spirits buoyed by the memorial success. The lodge, once steeped in sorrow, now felt vibrant and alive. But as the initial euphoria faded, subtle shifts began to emerge. Rachel found herself drawn back to the attic, compelled by an inexplicable need to connect with Eliza's spirit. Each evening, she would climb the creaking stairs, the old wood groaning under her weight, and open the music box. The haunting melody filled the space, wrapping around her like a familiar embrace. Yet, with each note, she sensed a growing urgency, as if Eliza had something more to share. One chilly evening, while rummaging through the attic's clutter, Rachel discovered a hidden compartment in the trunk. Inside lay a collection of letters, yellowed with age and tied with a frayed ribbon. As she carefully untied them, a chill raced down her spine. The letters were addressed to Eliza from her fiancé, Thomas, revealing a love that had transcended the veil of death. The letters detailed their plans for a future together, filled with dreams of travel and family, all dashed by the cruel hand of fate. In the final letter, written just days before Eliza's disappearance, Thomas expressed his deep concern for her safety, hinting at a secret meeting they had planned by the creek. The urgency of his words sent shivers through Rachel. What had really happened that fateful day? Haunted by the letters, Rachel shared her discovery with David. As they pieced together Eliza's story, Rachel's dreams became more vivid, filled with fleeting glimpses of a desperate girl searching for something or someone. Each night, she would wake with an overwhelming sense of dread, as if Eliza's spirit was growing restless again. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, Rachel suggested they venture to the creek, hoping to uncover more about Eliza's final hours. As they walked the winding path leading to the water, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the ground. The air was heavy with anticipation, each rustle of leaves heightening their senses. When they reached the creek, the water glimmered in the fading light, and Rachel felt an unsettling energy surrounding them. The area felt charged, as if the very ground held the memories of a tragedy long past. She knelt by the bank, brushing her fingers through the cool water, her heart racing with a sense of impending revelation. Suddenly, the wind picked up, howling through the trees, and Rachel heard it. A soft whisper carried on the breeze. Find me. The voice was unmistakable, a chilling echo that sent a wave of goosebumps over her skin. David, sensing her tension, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice steady but filled with concern. Rachel nodded, though her heart thudded in her chest. "I think we need to dig deeper. There's something here, something we haven't uncovered yet." They spent the next few hours exploring the area, searching for anything that might shed light on Eliza's fate. As night fell, the air grew colder, and shadows danced beneath the trees. Just as they were about to leave, Rachel spotted something glinting in the dirt, a small, ornate locket half buried in the bank. As she unearthed it, her breath caught in her throat. The locket was identical to the one Eliza had worn in the photos she found. With trembling fingers, Rachel opened it to reveal a faded photograph of Eliza and Thomas, beaming with youthful joy. Tears filled her eyes as she realized they had been so close to one another, yet separated by tragedy. "Rachel, look!" David exclaimed, his voice breaking through her reverie. He pointed to the opposite bank, where the water flowed rapidly. There, partially hidden in the underbrush, was an old, rusted object, a piece of an ornate iron gate. As they approached, the air felt electric, and Rachel's heart raced with anticipation. "What do you think it is?" she wondered aloud, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. "Maybe it's part of the estate's old grounds," David suggested, brushing away leaves and dirt to reveal more of the gate. But as they unearthed the gate, a deep rumble echoed through the woods, and the wind picked up again, swirling around them. Rachel's skin prickled as a dark cloud gathered overhead, the atmosphere charged with an otherworldly energy. Suddenly, Rachel felt a powerful tug in her chest, a compulsion to cross the creek. "I think I need to go over there," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Are you sure?" David hesitated, glancing nervously at the rushing water. Before he could protest, Rachel stepped into the water. The moment her foot touched the surface, a vision overwhelmed her. A vivid scene unfolding in her mind. She saw Eliza, young and desperate, standing by the creek, her eyes wide with fear. A figure approached from the shadows, and Rachel's breath caught as she recognized Thomas. "Rachel!" David shouted, his voice snapping her back to reality. She looked around, realizing she was nearly to the other side. "I can see them!" she cried, her voice shaking with intensity. "They're trying to tell us something." With newfound determination, Rachel pressed on. As she reached the bank, the scene shifted again, and she saw the confrontation between Eliza and Thomas. Their love was palpable, but so was the sense of impending doom. Rachel felt a surge of emotions wash over her. Love, desperation, and fear. "Rachel, come back!" David shouted, now on the bank, reaching out to her. But she was lost in the vision, unable to turn away. Just as the scene intensified, a loud crack echoed through the woods, and a flash of lightning lit up the night sky. The water surged, and Rachel stumbled, the vision fading as she lost her balance. David lunged forward, grabbing her arm just as she fell into the icy water. In that moment of chaos, the world around them seemed to blur. The cries of Eliza and the roar of the creek mixed with the howling wind. Rachel's heart pounded as she fought against the current, the locket slipping from her grasp. As David pulled her to safety, the visions receded, leaving Rachel breathless and shaken. But one thing was clear. They were on the brink of uncovering a truth that had been buried for far too long, and the spirits of Willow Creek Lodge would not rest until they were set free. "Are you okay?" David asked, concern etched on his face as he helped her to the bank. Rachel nodded, her mind racing. "We have to find out what happened that night. Eliza's spirit is still trapped here, and I think Thomas is too. We need to find a way to help them." With resolve igniting a fire within her, Rachel glanced back at the creek, feeling the weight of history pressing down upon them. They were just beginning to unravel the dark threads of a story that would change everything. And as the storm raged around them, they knew their journey was far from over. The ghosts of Willow Creek were waiting, and they were determined to uncover the truth hidden within the shadows. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story. As Rachel and David caught their breath on the bank, the wind howled through the trees, almost as if it were urging them onward. The storm's intensity faded, but the chill remained, wrapping around them like a shroud. Rachel felt a fierce determination rise within her. They needed to piece together the fragments of Eliza's tragic story. "Let's go back to the lodge," she said, her voice steadier now. "There has to be something more there, something that connects all of this." Reluctantly, David agreed. As they made their way back to Willow Creek Lodge, Rachel's mind raced with thoughts of the letters and the locket. Had Eliza tried to meet Thomas by the creek that fateful night? What had gone wrong? Once inside the lodge, they immediately returned to the attic, where the music box still lay open, its haunting melody lingering in the air. Rachel retrieved the letters, spreading them across the dusty floor, her fingers trembling with anticipation. She needed to find clues, connections that would reveal the truth. "Look," David said, pointing to one of the letters. "In this one, Thomas mentions a secret place where they used to meet. He calls it the Hollow. Do you think that's nearby?" Rachel's heart raced. It must be. If we can find it, maybe we'll uncover what really happened to them. They decided to search for the hollow at first light. As night fell, Rachel struggled to sleep, the echoes of Eliza's sorrowful lullaby lingering in her mind. She tossed and turned, each creak of the old lodge amplifying her unease. Finally, exhaustion took over, and she drifted into a restless sleep, plagued by vivid dreams. In her dream, Rachel found herself standing at the edge of a dense forest, the air thick with mist. She felt an inexplicable pull, guiding her deeper into the woods. As she walked, she saw flickering lights dancing among the trees, illuminating a hidden path. The sounds of soft laughter floated through the air, a familiar melody weaving through the branches. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted, and the laughter turned to cries. Rachel pressed forward, her heart racing as she neared a clearing. There, she saw Eliza, her figure ethereal and translucent, standing alone, looking lost and afraid. "Help me?" Eliza whispered, her voice a mere echo of the past. "I can't find him." Rachel reached out, desperate to comfort the girl who seemed trapped between worlds. "I'm here. We're trying to help you find Thomas." But before she could touch her, the scene shattered, and Rachel was jolted awake, gasping for breath. Morning arrived, cloaked in an eerie silence. Rachel shared her dream with David over breakfast, her voice tinged with urgency. "I think Eliza is trying to lead us to the hollow. We have to find it today." With determination fueling their every step, they set off into the woods, retracing the path Rachel had felt in her dream. The dense trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwining like fingers, blocking out the sunlight. As they walked, Rachel felt a familiar chill, as if unseen eyes were watching them from the shadows. After what felt like hours, they stumbled upon a small clearing, overgrown with wildflowers and surrounded by tall trees. In the center lay a circular depression in the earth, the remnants of what might have once been a gathering place. A sense of familiarity washed over Rachel, as if she had been here before. "This must be it," she breathed, stepping into the hollow. The air felt different here, thick with anticipation and unspoken secrets. As they examined the area, David noticed something glinting beneath the foliage. "Look!" he exclaimed, uncovering a small stone carved with intricate designs. "It looks like some kind of marker." Rachel knelt beside him, brushing away the dirt. The stone was engraved with the initials E and T, encircled by delicate vines. Her heart raced. This must be Eliza and Thomas's secret meeting spot. Just then, a gust of wind whipped through the clearing, sending leaves spiraling into the air. Rachel shivered, feeling an electric charge course through her veins. She closed her eyes, reaching out with her senses, hoping to connect with Eliza's spirit once more. "Please, Eliza," she whispered, "show us what happened." The moment she spoke, the air shimmered, and a vision enveloped her. She saw Eliza, radiant and full of life, running through the woods toward the hollow, her heart brimming with hope. But then the scene shifted. A dark figure emerged from the trees, a man whose face was obscured by shadow. Rachel's heart sank as she sensed the tension building. "Thomas," Eliza called, her voice laced with excitement, but it quickly turned to dread as the figure hesitated. The vision twisted, revealing a confrontation. Words exchanged, desperation filling the air. Rachel felt the weight of their love and fear, the depth of their bond tainted by unseen forces. And just as suddenly, the vision shattered again, and Rachel was back in the clearing, gasping for air. David looked at her with wide eyes, sensing the energy that still pulsed around them. "What did you see?" he asked urgently. I think Eliza was trying to warn Thomas," Rachel stammered, still reeling from the intensity of the vision. "Something went wrong that night. They were trying to meet, but someone else was there." A heavy silence fell over them as they processed her words. Rachel felt a new urgency surge within her. "We need to find out who that dark figure was. If we can identify him, maybe we can bring closure to both Eliza and Thomas." David nodded, determination igniting in his eyes. Let's go back to the lodge. There must be more records or accounts that could help us figure this out. As they made their way back, the shadows of the woods seemed to close in around them, whispering secrets long forgotten. Rachel felt a growing connection to Eliza, a pull that led her deeper into the mysteries of the lodge. The echoes of the past were no longer just stories. They were alive, waiting for their truth to be revealed. Once back in the attic, they sifted through old newspapers and documents, searching for any mention of a figure who might have been involved in Eliza's disappearance. Hours passed, and just as they began to lose hope, Rachel unearthed a dusty newspaper clipping. "David, look at this!" she exclaimed, her finger tracing the faded headline. "Mysterious Death at Willow Creek Lodge." The article detailed an incident involving a local man named Victor Hargrove, known for his tumultuous temper and jealousy over Eliza's affections for Thomas. "This is it," Rachel cried, her excitement palpable. Victor must have been the one who confronted them. As they read further, the article revealed that Victor had disappeared shortly after Eliza's death, rumored to have drowned in the very creek where she had vanished. The final line sent a chill through Rachel. Some believe his spirit lingers, unable to escape the guilt of his actions. "This could explain everything," David said, his voice low. "If Victor's spirit is trapped here, too, it might be causing the unrest in the lodge." Rachel's mind raced. "We need to confront him. If we can find out what truly happened, maybe we can help Eliza and Thomas find peace, and free Victor as well." The weight of their task settled heavily on their shoulders. They had entered a world where the past intertwined with the present, where love, loss, and jealousy played out in tragic cycles. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows through the attic, Rachel and David prepared for the confrontation they hoped would finally unravel the haunting threads binding the spirits to Willow Creek Lodge. The air crackled with anticipation as they lit candles and prepared for another seance, determined to unearth the truths that had lain dormant for far too long. The ghosts of the past were waiting, and Rachel could feel their restless energy stirring in the corners of the room, ready to reveal the secrets of a love that had never truly ended. As Rachel and David set the stage for their seance, the atmosphere in the attic thickened with a mix of hope and trepidation. Candles flickered in the dim light, casting long shadows that danced across the walls, and the air buzzed with anticipation. They felt the weight of the history pressing down on them, a palpable reminder of the lives intertwined within Willow Creek Lodge. Rachel took a deep breath, centering herself. "Let's begin," she said, her voice steady despite the nerves churning in her stomach. They sat in a circle, hands clasped, and Rachel closed her eyes, focusing on the energy around them. "Spirits of Willow Creek Lodge," she began, her voice resonating with intent. "We seek the truth. We wish to communicate with Eliza, Thomas, and Victor. If you are here, please make your presence known." A heavy silence filled the attic, punctuated only by the sound of the wind outside. Suddenly, the candles flickered wildly, and Rachel felt a cold breeze sweep through the room. Her heart raced as she sensed a presence, a weighty energy that seemed to envelop them. "Who's here with us?" David asked, his voice firm but anxious. A moment passed before a whisper filled the air, chilling their bones. "Help me." It was Eliza's voice, faint but unmistakable. "Rachel, did you hear that?" David's grip on her hand tightened. "Yes," she replied, her heart pounding. "Eliza is here. She needs us to understand what happened." Rachel concentrated, reaching out with her mind. "Eliza, if you can hear us, please tell us what happened that night. We want to help you." The atmosphere shifted, the air thickening with emotion. They felt a rush of energy, and Rachel was suddenly engulfed in another vision. She saw Eliza standing by the creek, her expression a mix of hope and fear. The dark figure loomed nearby Victor, his face twisted with jealousy. "Why won't you choose me?" Victor shouted, anger radiating from him. Eliza stepped back, fear flashing in her eyes. "I love Thomas," she cried, desperation lacing her voice. Rachel gasped, the intensity of the vision overwhelming her. The scene blurred as emotions swirled around her, Passion, betrayal, rage. Suddenly, she was thrust back into the attic, gasping for air. "What did you see?" David asked urgently. "Victor was confronting Eliza," she replied, her voice trembling. "He was jealous and angry." She was scared, David. "I think he pushed her into the water." David's eyes widened as he pieced together the fragments of the story. And when he realized what he had done, he disappeared, drowning in his guilt. They sat in silence, the weight of the revelation settling heavily in the room. "We need to confront Victor," Rachel said, determination hardening in her voice. "He has to know that Eliza didn't choose Thomas over him. She loved them both in different ways, and he needs to find peace." The wind howled outside, and the candles flickered once more, as if the spirits were urging them forward. They decided to reach out to Victor directly, hoping to draw him into the circle. "Victor Hargrove," Rachel called, her voice steady. "We know you're here. We wish to speak with you. We understand what happened, and we want to help you find peace." A chilling silence enveloped them, but then the temperature in the room dropped sharply. The shadows in the corners deepened, and a figure began to materialize. A man, his face obscured by darkness but his presence unmistakable. "Why have you come?" Victor's voice was low and haunted, filled with anguish. "You cannot change what has been done." "Victor," Rachel spoke gently, her heart aching for the pain he carried. "We want to help you understand. Eliza did not choose Thomas to hurt you. She was afraid, and you let your jealousy consume you." The figure shifted, and a flicker of remorse crossed his face. "I loved her. I only wanted her to see that we could have been happy together." "But you lost control," David interjected, his voice firm. "You let your anger drive you to a point of no return." "I didn't mean for it to happen," Victor murmured, pain etched into his features. "I thought I could make her choose me. I never wanted to hurt her." "Then let us help you find closure," Rachel urged, her voice resonating with compassion. "You need to let go of this guilt. Eliza deserves to be free, and so do you." As she spoke, the room trembled with emotion. Rachel felt the air grow thick, charged with the spirit's longing for resolution. Eliza's presence lingered, a soft glow illuminating the darkness around Victor. "Do you see her?" Rachel asked, her eyes searching Victor's shadowed face. "She is still here, waiting for you to release her. You can't keep holding on to this pain." The shadows around Victor shifted, and Rachel saw a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "I didn't know she was still. I thought she was lost to me forever." "She is here, Victor," David affirmed. "You can help her find peace by accepting what happened and letting go of your anger. It's time to forgive yourself." As the words hung in the air, the energy in the room shifted, swirling around them like a tempest. Victor's figure flickered, the anguish on his face slowly giving way to understanding. "I am sorry, Eliza," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." The candles flickered violently as the atmosphere pulsed with energy, and Rachel sensed a profound release. She could feel Eliza's spirit responding, her presence warming the room. "Let her know," Rachel urged. "Let her feel your forgiveness." In that moment, Victor's form began to solidify, the shadows peeling away to reveal a man filled with sorrow and regret. "Eliza, I am so sorry. I never wanted to take your life from you. I see now that I was lost in my own darkness." A hush fell over the room as the energy shifted once more. The walls of the attic felt alive with emotion, and the air sparkled as Eliza's spirit moved closer to Victor. "Victor, I forgive you," came Eliza's soft voice, resonating through the air. "I always loved you, but I was afraid. I never wanted this pain. You must let me go." As her words filled the attic, Rachel felt a wave of warmth wash over her. The shadows surrounding Victor began to dissolve, the light of Eliza's spirit illuminating the room. It was a beautiful moment of catharsis, a merging of love and loss that transcended the boundaries of life and death. "Let her go, Victor," David encouraged. "Set her free." Victor's face softened, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I release you, Eliza. I love you, and I always will. You deserve to find peace. With that, a brilliant light enveloped Eliza, wrapping around Victor in a warm embrace. Rachel and David watched in awe as the darkness that had clung to the lodge began to lift, the air growing lighter and more vibrant. But just as the energy swelled, a crack of thunder echoed through the night, and Rachel felt a sudden pull, as if something was still not finished. The vision flickered, and she saw Eliza once more. Her expression transformed, filled with love and sorrow intertwined. "Rachel!" David shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "What's happening?" The light around them pulsed, and the atmosphere became charged with electricity. Rachel's heart raced as she sensed that while Eliza was close to finding peace, something deeper was still at play. "Victor, you need to fully let go," Rachel urged. "You're almost there, but something still binds you." The shadows in the room twisted, and the temperature dropped again, revealing a darker force lurking beneath the surface. Rachel realized that Victor's anguish was not the only thing holding Eliza back. There were other secrets yet to be unveiled, a deeper darkness that threatened to consume them all. "Victor, focus on Eliza," Rachel shouted, her voice cutting through the turmoil. "She needs you to let go of everything. Your jealousy, your guilt, everything." As if awakening from a trance, Victor turned his gaze toward Eliza's glowing form. "I can't hold on any longer, Eliza. I will let you go. I promise." The light intensified, the room vibrating with energy. Rachel felt the very fabric of the lodge shifting, the walls pulsing as if they too yearned for resolution. Just then, a figure materialized in the shadows. Another spirit, angry and filled with rage. "Victor!" it bellowed, its voice echoing through the room. "You can't escape me." Rachel's heart sank. This was the darkness she had sensed, the unresolved anger that had chained Victor and Eliza together. "Who are you?" David demanded, stepping protectively in front of Rachel. "I am the one who was wronged." The figure snarled, its face slowly becoming visible, twisted in rage, a reflection of Victor's own pain. "You think you can just let go? Not until the truth is revealed." Rachel's mind raced. This was the embodiment of the jealousy and anger that had consumed Victor, and now it threatened to pull them all into the abyss. "Victor, you must confront this," Rachel shouted, her voice rising above the chaos. "Face your demons. Only then can you and Eliza truly. Face your demons. Only then can you and Eliza truly be free." Victor took a step forward, his eyes locking onto the dark figure. "I acknowledge my mistakes. I let jealousy consume me, but I won't let it control me any longer." With those words, the shadows began to swirl violently around him, the dark figure writhing in response. "You think you can just wish me away? You're bound to your sins." But as Victor embraced his truth, the atmosphere shifted. The shadows flickered, and the dark figure's power waned. Eliza's light shone brighter, enveloping Victor, filling him with warmth and love. "Let her go, Victor," Rachel urged. "You are stronger than this darkness." With one final declaration, Victor raised his arms. "I release you, Eliza. I set us both free." The darkness shrieked, then imploded into a blinding light. Victor's form dissolved, merging with Eliza's, and the air filled with a chorus of whispers. Gratitude, love, and release. The oppressive weight in the room lifted, replaced by a profound peace. As the candles flickered out, Rachel and David felt an overwhelming sense of calm. They stood in the now silent attic, where the echoes of sorrow had transformed into a gentle warmth. The spirits of Eliza and Victor had found their closure, freed at last from the chains of their past. "I think they're finally at peace," David whispered, relief flooding his voice. Rachel nodded, tears in her eyes. "They've been waiting so long for this." As dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight streamed through the attic windows, illuminating the space with a soft glow. Willow Creek Lodge felt lighter, more alive than ever before. In the days that followed, the lodge became a haven for visitors, its history transformed from tragedy to triumph. Rachel and David honored Eliza and Victor's story, sharing their journey with guests, ensuring the spirit's legacy lived on. Though the past would always linger, it was no longer a haunting presence. Instead, it became a testament to love, forgiveness, and the healing power of letting go. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked this story.